The uniform was a promise of order, of safety, of an unwavering presence against the chaos of the city. But for some, it was a judgment, a second skin that amplified every insecurity, every unspoken doubt. She felt its unforgiving fabric cling, a silent accusation in the sterile, polished halls of power. Eyes, sharp and dismissive, had already scanned her, measuring her not by her resolve, but by the curves that strained against the seams. They saw a body, not a shield, a vulnerability, not a fortress. And on this, her first day, as the city's relentless humidity pressed in, a single bead of sweat tracing a path down her temple felt like a betrayal. She knew what they expected, a stumble, a weakness, a confirmation of their silent verdict. But they hadn't yet learned that true strength isn't about fitting a mold. It's about holding your ground when the world expects you to break, even when the uniform itself threatens to betray you. If you're already feeling the tension and rooting for Alara, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Your support helps this channel grow and allows us to bring more powerful narratives like this one to life. Thank you. The morning sun, a relentless golden glare, beat down on the bustling streets of downtown Philadelphia. Alara Vance adjusted the collar of her brand-new security uniform, the crisp, dark fabric already feeling heavy and unfamiliar against her skin. Today was her first day at the prestigious Thorn Tower, a gleaming monument of glass and steel that pierced the city skyline. It was a step up, a real opportunity, and the pressure felt as immense as the building itself. Alara was a woman of generous curves, her frame solid and strong, a testament to years of hard work and a life lived fully. She wasn't delicate, nor did she aspire to be. But the uniform, tailored to standard sizes, clung in places she wished it wouldn't, highlighting every insecurity she had fought to bury. She saw the glances, the quick, dismissive assessments in people's eyes, the unspoken question of whether someone like her truly belonged in a role demanding physical prowess and an imposing presence. She knew the stereotypes, the quiet judgments, and she was determined to shatter every single one. Her motivation was simple, yet profound. Lily, her younger sister Lily Vance, was a brilliant, aspiring architect, currently navigating the daunting world of university tuition and living expenses. Alara had always been Lily's rock, working tirelessly since their parents' passing to ensure Lily had every opportunity she deserved. This job at Thorn Tower, with its better pay and benefits, was a crucial step in securing Lily's future. Alara took a deep breath, the humid city air thick in her lungs, and pushed through the revolving doors of Thorn Tower. The lobby was a symphony of polished marble, hushed conversations, and the soft hum of air conditioning, a stark contrast to the sweltering street outside. She reported to the security office, a sleek, glass-walled command center overlooking the lobby. Mr. Harrison Thorne, the chief of security, was already there, a man in his late 50s with a stern face, thinning gray hair, and eyes that missed nothing. He was impeccably dressed in his own uniform, which seemed to fit him with effortless precision. "Ms. Vance," Mr. Thorne greeted, his voice clipped, his gaze sweeping over her from head to toe. His eyes lingered on the snug fit of her uniform jacket, a flicker of something unreadable in their depths. "Welcome to Thorn Tower. I trust you understand the gravity of this position. We protect high-profile tenants, sensitive data, and valuable assets. There is no room for error, no room for anything less than absolute professionalism." "Yes, sir," Alara replied, her voice steady, her posture ramrod straight. "I understand completely. I'm ready to meet the challenge." Mr. Thorne merely grunted, then gestured to a tall, lean woman with sharp features and an equally sharp uniform. "This is Officer Brenda Davies. She'll be your partner for the first few shifts, showing you the ropes. Brenda, this is Alara Vance." Brenda offered a curt nod, her eyes assessing Alara with a cool, almost competitive gaze. "Welcome, Vance. Try to keep up." Her tone was dismissive, already setting a precedent. Alara felt the familiar prickle of being judged, but she simply nodded back. "Officer Davies." Mr. Thorne then introduced Marcus Mac O'Connell, a burly, good-natured guard with a friendly smile and kind eyes. Mac was a stark contrast to Brenda, his uniform looking lived-in but well-maintained, his demeanor approachable. "Hey, Alara, good to have you on board," Mac said, offering a genuine smile and a firm handshake. "Don't mind Brenda, she's just particular about her coffee." He winked. and Alara felt a small wave of relief, an ally perhaps. The first few hours were a blur of information: patrol routes, CCTV monitoring, access control protocols, emergency procedures. Brenda was efficient but impatient, rattling off instructions at a rapid pace, often sighing dramatically when Alara asked for clarification. "It's all in the manual, Vance," Brenda snapped at one point when Alara asked about a specific alarm code. "Did you even read it?" "I did, Officer Davies," Alara replied calmly. "But practical application sometimes requires a quick confirmation." Brenda just rolled her eyes. Mr. Thorne, observing from his office, seemed to take note of the exchange, his expression unreadable. The air conditioning in the tower was efficient, but the sheer size of the building, combined with the nervous energy of a first day, meant Alara was constantly on the move. Her uniform, initially crisp, began to feel increasingly uncomfortable. The fabric, not designed for the kind of robust movement her body naturally required, started to chafe, and despite the cool air, a bead of sweat, then another, began to form on her brow, tracing paths down her temples. Around midday, Mr. Thorne called Alara into his office. He sat behind his desk, his expression as unyielding as the polished granite of the lobby. "Ms. Vance," he began, his voice low, "I've been observing your performance. You seem to be struggling with the pace. And your uniform." He paused, his gaze pointedly dropping to her chest, where a damp patch was beginning to form on the dark fabric. The sweat, despite her best efforts, was becoming visible. Alara felt a flush of mortification spread across her face. Her worst fear realized. The uniform, her supposed symbol of authority, was betraying her. She could feel the dampness, the stickiness, the undeniable evidence of her body's natural response to stress and exertion. "I'm sorry, sir," Alara admitted quietly, her voice barely above a whisper, her eyes fixed on a point just beyond his shoulder. She braced herself for the ridicule, the dismissal, the confirmation of every unspoken judgment she had ever faced. I sweated through the uniform. It's my first day and I'm still adjusting to the routes and the building's climate. I'll ensure it doesn't happen again." Mr. Thorne's office fell silent, the kind that forces everyone to see what strength really looks like. He stared at her, his expression unreadable. Alara could feel the weight of his gaze, the judgment she expected, but it didn't come. Instead, a different kind of silence filled the room, a heavy, expectant quiet. "Ms. Vance," Mr. Thorne finally said, his voice devoid of mockery, but still stern. "This is a professional environment. We expect our officers to maintain a pristine appearance at all times. However," he continued, a surprising shift in his tone, "I also expect honesty, and you have been honest. Go to the locker room, change into a spare uniform, and then I want you to take a break, rehydrate, and when you return, I expect you to be focused, regardless of the uniform." Alara was stunned. She had expected a reprimand, a lecture, perhaps even a threat of dismissal. Not understanding, not a second chance. "Yes, sir. Thank you, sir." She quickly changed, feeling a fresh wave of determination. She wouldn't let this small setback define her. She would prove her worth, not just to Mr. Thorne, but to herself. If you're impressed by Alara's honesty and Mr. Thorne's unexpected reaction, please show your support by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. Your engagement helps us continue to share these powerful and uplifting stories. When Alara returned, refreshed, and in a clean uniform, she found Mac waiting for her near the security desk. He offered her a bottle of water. "Rough start, huh?" he said, a sympathetic smile on his face. "Don't worry about Thorne. He's a stickler for rules, but he respects honesty. And he's not as bad as he seems once you get to know him." "Thanks, Mac," Alara replied, genuinely grateful. "I appreciate that. Just focus on the job," Mac advised. "You've got good instincts. I saw you observing the lobby earlier, noticing that guy loitering by the elevators. Most rookies miss stuff like that." Alara felt a small surge of confidence. Mac saw her, truly saw her, beyond the uniform, beyond the size. The afternoon passed with fewer incidents, but the underlying tension remained. Brenda continued her passive-aggressive remarks, and Mr. Thorne maintained his watchful, distant demeanor. Alara, however, was more determined than ever. She focused on every detail, memorizing faces, learning the subtle rhythms of the building, listening to the hum of the systems. Towards the end of her shift, as the tower began to empty, a minor incident occurred. Mr. Silas Blackwood, a notoriously demanding and influential tenant who occupied the penthouse suite, approached the security desk in a furious rage. "My briefcase! It's gone!" Mr. Blackwood bellowed, his face red with anger. "I left it on the bench by the main entrance for just a moment while I took a call. This is an outrage. Where is your security, Thorne?" Mr. Thorne, who was just about to leave, rushed back to the desk. Brenda immediately started reviewing the CCTV footage, her fingers flying across the keyboard. "I'm checking, sir. I'm checking." Alara, however, had a different approach. She remembered seeing Mr. Blackwood earlier, deep in conversation on his phone, looking distracted. She also remembered a cleaning crew, working near the entrance, and a specific detail about one of the cleaners. "Mr. Blackwood," Alara said calmly, stepping forward. "Can you describe your briefcase?" "Black leather, expensive, with my initials SB. Embossed in gold," he snapped, "and it contains highly confidential documents. I believe I saw a member of the evening cleaning crew, a young man with a distinctive blue cap, pick up a similar briefcase from that bench about 20 minutes ago," Alara stated, her voice clear and confident. "He seemed to think it was left behind and was taking it to Lost and Found. He was heading towards the service elevator on the west side." Mr. Thorne and Brenda paused, looking at Alara, surprised. Brenda quickly cross-referenced the cleaning crew's schedule. "She's right, Chief. Marco, the evening cleaner, wears a blue cap. He's assigned to the West Wing tonight." "Mac, go to the Lost and Found immediately," Mr. Thorne commanded, his voice urgent. "Brenda, confirm Marco's current location." Within minutes, Mac returned, a black leather briefcase with gold initials in his hand. "Found it, Chief. Marco had just logged it in. Said he thought someone forgot it." Mr. Blackwood snatched his briefcase, his anger quickly dissipating into relief. He opened it, checked the contents, and then looked at Alara, a flicker of grudging respect in his eyes. "Well, Officer Vance," he said, his tone considerably softer. "Impressive. Very impressive. You have a keen eye." Alara simply nodded, a quiet sense of satisfaction spreading through her. Mr. Thorne looked at Alara, a long, thoughtful gaze. The skepticism in his eyes had finally vanished, replaced by something akin to genuine surprise and a dawning appreciation. He had seen her sweat, seen her struggle with the uniform, but he had also seen her sharp observation skills, her calm under pressure, and her ability to solve a problem quickly and efficiently. "Ms. Vance," Mr. Thorne said, his voice now carrying a note of respect. "You handled that well. Very well indeed. You proved that courage isn't measured by how you look in a uniform, but by how you stand your ground when the world expects you to break." Alara met his gaze, a quiet triumph in her eyes. Her first day had been a trial by fire, a battle against preconceived notions and her own insecurities, but she had stood her ground. She had shown them that beneath the uniform, beneath the curves, lay a sharp mind, a keen eye, and an unwavering resolve. The uniform might have clung, but her spirit had soared, and she knew, with a certainty that settled deep in her bones, that this was just the beginning. The Thorne Tower, and its occupants, were about to learn what true strength really looked like. If Alara's resilience and sharp instincts are inspiring you, please show your support by giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Every like and subscription helps us continue telling these powerful, human stories. The recovery of Mr. Blackwood's briefcase marked a subtle, yet significant shift in the atmosphere of Thorne Tower's security office. Mr. Harrison Thorne, while still maintaining his stern demeanor, now regarded Alara with a new, analytical interest. He no longer dismissed her with a glance. Instead, his eyes followed her movements, observing her interactions, testing her reactions. Brenda Davies, however, remained unconvinced, her skepticism hardening into a quiet resentment. She saw Alara's success as a threat, a challenge to her own rigid adherence to protocol. "Lucky guess, Vance," Brenda muttered one morning, as Alara efficiently processed a visitor's badge. Anyone could have seen a cleaning crew. Alara simply offered a calm smile. "Perhaps, Officer Davies, but observation is more than just seeing. It's about connecting the dots." Mac O'Connell, however, was openly supportive. He often sought Alara out during patrols, sharing insights about the building's quirks, the tenants' habits, and the subtle nuances of security work at Thorne Tower. "You've got a knack for this, Alara," Max said, leaning against a polished pillar during a quiet moment. You see things others miss. It's not just about the cameras. It's about reading people, reading the environment. Alara found her confidence growing with each passing day. The uniform, though still a physical reminder of external judgments, now felt less like a burden and more like a second skin, a symbol of her purpose. She moved through the tower with a quiet authority, her keen eyes missing nothing. She learned the patterns of the building's occupants, the subtle tells of a nervous visitor, the unusual rhythms of a delivery. Her mind, sharp and analytical, was constantly processing information, building a mental map of potential vulnerabilities. Her dedication to Lily remained her driving force. Lily, now deep into her architecture studies, often called Alara, sharing her excitement about new projects or her anxieties about looming deadlines. Alara, despite her demanding schedule, always made time for her sister, offering words of encouragement and unwavering support. You're going to build amazing things, Lil, Alara would tell her, a fierce pride in her voice. Just keep working hard. If you're admiring Alara's growing confidence and her dedication to her sister, please show your support by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. Your engagement helps us continue to share these powerful and uplifting stories. The Gilded Spoon, a high-end restaurant on the ground floor of Thorn Tower, was a constant source of activity. Its executive chef, Beatrice Holloway, had recently gained national recognition, drawing a new wave of discerning clientele. This increased foot traffic, while good for the building's prestige, also presented new security challenges. One afternoon, during a routine patrol of the lower levels, Alara noticed a young man, Kev Jenkins, loitering near the service entrance of the Gilded Spoon. He was dressed in oversized, worn clothes, his eyes darting nervously around. He didn't look like a delivery person, nor a restaurant employee. Alara observed him for a few minutes, noting his repeated glances at the restaurant's back door and the delivery schedule posted nearby. Alara approached him calmly. "Can I help you, sir?" Kev jumped, startled, his hand instinctively going into his pocket. "Just waiting for a friend," he mumbled, avoiding her gaze. "This is a service entrance," Alara stated, her voice firm but not aggressive. "It's not a waiting area. If you're not making a delivery or an authorized pickup, I'll have to ask you to leave." Kev mumbled something incoherent and quickly shuffled away. Alara made a mental note of his face, his nervous energy, and the way he seemed particularly interested in the restaurant's operations. She logged the incident in her report, noting her suspicions. Mr. Thorne, reviewing the report, raised an eyebrow. "Jenkins, you say? He's been known to cause trouble in other parts of the city. Good catch, Vance. Keep an eye on him." Days later, a series of minor thefts began to plague the Gilded Spoon. Small, valuable items, a bottle of rare wine, a chef's expensive knife set, a tablet used for inventory, started disappearing from the kitchen and storage areas. Chef Holloway was furious, and Julian Thorne, the restaurant owner, was demanding answers. Mr. Thorne, the chief of security, called a meeting with his team. "These thefts are unacceptable," he stated, his voice sharp. "We have a high-profile restaurant, and this reflects poorly on our security. Brenda, Mac, I want you to review all CCTV footage from the past week, focusing on the service entrance and kitchen areas. Alara, I want you to increase your patrols around the Gilded Spoon, particularly during off-peak hours." Brenda scoffed. "With all due respect, Chief, I think we need someone with more experience on this. These aren't petty shoplifting incidents. This is organized." Her gaze flickered to Alara, a clear implication in her tone. "I'm confident in Officer Vance's abilities, Brenda," Mr. Thorne replied, his voice firm. "Her observational skills are proving to be an asset." Alara, undeterred by Brenda's jab, began her focused patrols. She spent hours meticulously observing the restaurant's routines, the delivery schedules, the staff's habits. She noticed a subtle pattern. The thefts always occurred during a specific window of time, usually when the kitchen was at its busiest or during a shift change. She also noticed that the service entrance, while usually locked, had a brief period where it was propped open for deliveries, creating a small window of vulnerability. One evening, as she was reviewing CCTV footage from a previous theft, she saw something that made her pause. In the background, barely visible, was a quick flash of a distinctive blue cap, the same kind worn by Kev Jenkins. He was moving quickly, blending into the background of a delivery, his hands briefly obscured. It was too fast to be conclusive, but it was a lead. Ilara brought her findings to Mr. Thorne. "Sir, I believe Kev Jenkins is involved. I saw him loitering before the theft started, and I've identified a brief window of vulnerability at the service entrance. I also spotted a blue cap, similar to his, in the background of one of the theft videos." Mr. Thorne leaned forward, his interest piqued. "A blue cap? That's not much to go on, Vance. And he's not an employee." "No, sir," Ilara agreed, "but he's familiar with the building's layout, and he seems to know the restaurant's schedule. I believe he's exploiting the brief moments when the service door is propped open for deliveries. He's quick, and he blends in." Brenda, who had been listening, interjected. "Chief, this is pure speculation. We need hard evidence, not a hunch based on a cap." "A hunch based on observation, Brenda," Mr. Thorne corrected, his gaze fixed on Ilara. "What do you propose, Vance?" "I propose a stakeout, sir," Ilara stated, her voice confident. "During the next vulnerable window. I believe he'll try again." Mr. Thorne considered her proposal. It was unconventional, but Ilara's instincts had proven accurate before. "Very well, Vance. Mac, you'll assist Officer Vance. Brenda, you'll monitor the CCTV from the office, ready to provide backup." The next evening, Ilara and Mac positioned themselves strategically near the service entrance, hidden from view but with a clear line of sight. The air was thick with anticipation. Ilara's heart pounded, but her focus was absolute. She felt the weight of the uniform, but now it was a source of strength, a symbol of her unwavering commitment. As the vulnerable window approached, a delivery truck pulled up, and the service door was propped open. Ilara's eyes scanned the area, her senses heightened, and then she saw him. Kev Jenkins, wearing the distinctive blue cap, emerged from the shadows, moving with a practiced stealth towards the open door. He slipped inside, quick as a ghost. "He's in," Ilara whispered into her comms. Moving towards the kitchen storage, Mac and Ilara moved swiftly, silently, following him. They found Kev in the storage room, attempting to pry open a locked cabinet containing expensive liquor. "Freeze, Jenkins! Security!" Ilara's voice boomed, clear and authoritative. Kev froze, startled, dropping his tools. He turned, his eyes wide with panic, and tried to bolt. But Ilara, despite her size, was surprisingly quick. She moved to cut off his escape, her training kicking in. Mac quickly moved to assist, and together, they apprehended Kev Jenkins, securing him without incident. Mr. Thorne arrived moments later, followed by Brenda, who looked genuinely surprised. He surveyed the scene, then looked at Ilara, a look of profound respect now etched on his face. "Excellent work, officers," Mr. Thorne said, his gaze lingering on Ilara. "Especially you, Vance. Your instincts were spot on. You saw what others missed." Brenda, for once, was silent, her usual skepticism replaced by a grudging admiration. She had witnessed Ilara's calm under pressure, her sharp observational skills, and her decisive action. Ilara felt a deep sense of satisfaction. She had not only solved the thefts, but had also proven, unequivocally, that her strength lay not in conforming to expectations, but in her unique abilities. She had stood her ground, and in doing so, had secured Thorn Tower, protected its tenants, and earned the respect of her colleagues. The uniform might have once felt like a judgment, but now it felt like a perfect fit, a testament to the unseen watcher, the quiet strength, and the unwavering resolve of Ilara Vance. The Gilded Spoon's kitchen was safe, and Ilara knew this was just another step in her journey to redefine what true security looked like. The apprehension of Kev Jenkins sent a clear message throughout Thorn Tower. Security was not just about imposing uniforms or physical presence. It was about sharp minds, keen observation, and unwavering dedication. Ilara Vance, the curvy security guard, who had once been dismissed by a glance, was now the subject of hushed, respectful conversations. Her name was synonymous with competence, her reputation solidified not by her appearance, but by her actions. Mr. Harrison Thorne, the chief of security, no longer merely observed Ilara. He actively sought her input. His stern gaze, once critical, now held a glint of genuine admiration. He saw in her a strategic mind, an intuitive understanding of human behavior, and a calm under pressure that few possessed. He began to assign her to more complex tasks, involving the security of high-profile tenant meetings, sensitive data transfers, and the discreet handling of delicate situations. Brenda Davies, the once skeptical colleague, had undergone a noticeable transformation. The grudging admiration had slowly, almost imperceptibly, blossomed into a nascent respect. She still adhered strictly to protocol, but her competitive edge towards Alara had softened. She even started asking Alara for advice on certain security procedures, a gesture that spoke volumes. "Vance," Brenda said one morning, her voice lacking its usual sharpness. "How did you know Jenkins would go for the liquor cabinet? I would have thought he'd target the cash register." Alara smiled gently. "People often go for what they perceive as high value and easy to resell, Brenda. Liquor, especially rare bottles, fits that. Cash registers are usually more secure and monitored." Brenda nodded slowly, absorbing the insight. "Makes sense. I hadn't thought of it that way." Mac O'Connell, Alara's steadfast ally, beamed with pride. "Told you she was good, Bren. Alara's got a sixth sense for trouble." Alara's growing responsibilities meant even longer hours, but the work felt fulfilling. She was making a tangible difference, not just for Thorn Tower, but for the sense of safety and peace of mind of its occupants. She found herself thriving in the high-stakes environment, her mind constantly engaged, her instincts sharper than ever. Her dedication to Lily remained her anchor. Lily, now fully immersed in her architecture program, was facing a new challenge, a prestigious but incredibly demanding summer internship in New York City. It was a dream opportunity, but the cost of living in New York was astronomical, even with a modest stipend. "Aunt Alara," Lily said during a video call, her voice tinged with anxiety. "The internship is amazing, but I don't know how I'll afford rent and food. It's so much more expensive than I thought." Alara's heart ached. She had worked so hard to provide for Lily, and this opportunity was too important to let slip away. "Don't you worry about a thing, Lil," Alara reassured her, a determined glint in her eye. "We'll figure it out. You focus on being the best architect you can be. I'll make sure you have what you need." This renewed sense of purpose fueled Alara even more. She took on extra shifts, volunteered for complex assignments, and even started researching ways to optimize security operations to potentially earn a bonus for the team. She was not just protecting a building, she was building a future for her sister. If you're inspired by Alara's unwavering commitment to her sister and her drive to excel, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us share more stories of dedication and family bonds. Thorn Tower, being a hub for various businesses, often hosted high-stakes corporate events. One such event was an international tech summit, bringing together CEOs, investors, and innovators from around the globe. The summit would occupy several floors, including the grand ballroom, and involve the display of cutting-edge, highly valuable prototypes. The security implications were immense. Mr. Thorne called a special meeting with his entire security team. "This tech summit is our biggest challenge yet," he explained, his face serious. "We'll have hundreds of high-profile individuals, sensitive intellectual property, and potential threats ranging from industrial espionage to protester disruptions. I'm putting Alara Vance in charge of the summit's operational security. Brenda, Mac, you'll be her lead supervisors, reporting directly to her." Brenda's eyes widened slightly, a flicker of surprise, but she quickly nodded, a new sense of purpose in her posture. Mac gave Alara a proud grin. Alara felt a surge of adrenaline. This was a massive responsibility, a true test of her capabilities. "Thank you, sir," Alara said, her voice steady. "I won't let you down." Alara immediately immersed herself in planning. She meticulously reviewed blueprints, analyzed potential entry and exit points, and developed a comprehensive security strategy. She proposed a multi-layered approach, enhanced CCTV monitoring, discreet plainclothes officers mingling with guests, advanced access control for restricted areas, and a rapid response team on standby. She even suggested a new subtle system for tracking the valuable prototypes, using discrete RFID tags. Her ideas were innovative, practical, and incredibly thorough. Mr. Thorne, impressed, approved her plan without hesitation. "Vance, you've thought of everything. This is exceptional." The next few weeks were a whirlwind of preparation. Alara led her team with a calm authority, delegating tasks efficiently, training them on new protocols, and fostering a sense of shared responsibility. She worked closely with Brenda, who, to Alara's pleasant surprise, proved to be an invaluable asset. Brenda's meticulous attention to detail and her strict adherence to rules perfectly complemented Alara's intuitive problem-solving. They formed an effective, if unlikely, partnership. Mac, with his easygoing nature and strong physical presence, was excellent at managing the ground teams and maintaining a visible, reassuring presence. One afternoon, during a final walkthrough of the ballroom, Alara noticed a subtle anomaly. A small decorative vent near the main stage seemed slightly ajar, almost imperceptibly. It was a detail most would miss, but Alara's trained eye caught it. "Brenda," Alara said, pointing to the vent. "Does that look right to you?" Brenda squinted. I don't think so. It's usually flush with the wall." Upon closer inspection, they discovered that the vent cover had been tampered with, and behind it, a tiny, almost invisible camera lens was embedded. It was a sophisticated surveillance device, clearly planted by someone attempting to spy on the summit's confidential presentations. "Good heavens!" Brenda exclaimed, her face paling. "If you hadn't seen that, Alara." Alara immediately secured the area and reported the discovery to Mr. Thorne. He was furious, but also deeply relieved. "Vance, you've just averted a major industrial espionage incident. That's incredible. How did you even spot it?" "Just connecting the dots, sir," Alara replied, a quiet satisfaction in her voice. "An unseen detail, a subtle anomaly. It's what we train for." The discovery of the spy camera heightened the stakes, but it also solidified the team's trust in Alara's leadership. They knew she had their backs, and that her instincts were unparalleled. If Alara's sharp eye and leadership are captivating you, please show your support by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. Your engagement helps us continue to share these powerful and human stories. The day of the Tech Summit arrived, a flurry of activity and high-level security. The tower buzzed with the energy of innovation and the discreet presence of security personnel. Alara, dressed in her impeccably fitted uniform, stood at the command center, overseeing the entire operation with a calm, focused intensity. She was the unseen architect of safety, orchestrating a complex symphony of surveillance, access control, and rapid response. Midway through the summit, a sudden, unexpected crisis erupted. A small group of environmental protesters, cleverly disguised as catering staff, managed to breach a perimeter on one of the lower floors, intending to disrupt a key presentation. They were loud, determined, and threatened to cause significant damage to property and reputation. Panic began to spread among the event organizers. Mr. Thorne, alerted to the breach, rushed to the command center, his face grim. "Alara, what's the situation? How did they get in?" Alara, already assessing the live feeds, remained calm. "They exploited a blind spot during a large delivery, sir. It was a coordinated effort. They're on the 15th floor, heading towards the main conference room." "Contain them! Immediately!" Mr. Thorne commanded. Alara's voice was clear and authoritative as she issued orders through her comms. "Mac, lead your team to the 15th floor, south stairwell. Brenda, secure the north stairwell and the service elevators. Do not engage physically unless absolutely necessary. Prioritize de-escalation and containment. My team will meet you there." Alara, along with a small rapid response unit, moved swiftly. She arrived on the 15th floor, where Mac and Brenda had already begun to contain the protesters, preventing them from reaching the main conference room. The protesters were chanting, waving banners, and attempting to push past the security line. Alara stepped forward, her presence commanding attention. Her voice, though calm, carried an undeniable authority. "Listen to me," she said, addressing the protesters directly. "I understand you have a message, but this is not the place, and this is not the way. You are disrupting a private event and risking serious legal consequences. We can facilitate a peaceful exit, or we can escalate this. The choice is yours." One of the protest leaders, a fiery young woman, stepped forward. "We have a right to be heard. These corporations are destroying our planet." "And you will be heard," Alara replied, her gaze steady. "But not by jeopardizing the safety of hundreds of people or damaging property. We can arrange for you to speak to a media representative outside, where your message will be heard without causing chaos. But you must leave this building peacefully now." Alara's calm, rational approach, combined with the firm but non-aggressive stance of her team, began to de-escalate the situation. The protesters, seeing the futility of their actions against such organized and professional security, slowly began to comply. Alara personally escorted them out of the building, ensuring a peaceful resolution. The Tech Summit continued without further incident. The organizers were immensely relieved, and the tenants were deeply impressed by the swift and professional handling of the crisis. Mr. Thorne, watching Alara from a distance, felt a profound sense of pride. He saw not just a security guard, but a leader, a strategist, a true professional who had risen above every expectation. Later that evening, after the summit concluded successfully, Mr. Thorne approached Alara. "Alara," he said, using her first name for the first time, his voice filled with genuine warmth and respect. "You were magnificent today. You handled that entire operation from planning to execution, with unparalleled skill. You are, without a doubt, the finest security professional I have ever worked with." Alara smiled, a quiet triumph in her eyes. "Thank you, Harrison. It was a team effort. Brenda and Mac were exceptional." "Indeed," Mr. Thorne agreed. "But you were the architect. You proved that true strength isn't measured by how you look in a uniform, but by how you stand your ground when the world expects you to break. And you, Alara, never broke. You built a fortress of safety, not just around this building, but around our entire team." Alara knew, with a deep certainty, that she had found her calling. She had not only secured Thorne Tower, but had also secured her own place, not just as a security guard, but as a respected leader, a mentor, and a symbol of unwavering strength. The uniform, once a source of insecurity, now felt like a second skin, a testament to her journey. She was ready for whatever challenges lay ahead, knowing that her unseen strength, her sharp mind, and her unwavering heart would always be her greatest assets. She was the unseen watcher, the silent protector, and the true architect of safety, ready to face the future with confidence and grace. The successful handling of the tech summit, particularly the swift and peaceful resolution of the protester breach and the discovery of the spy camera, solidified Alara Vance's reputation not just within Thorne Tower, but across the city's corporate security landscape. She was no longer merely a curvy security guard. She was a recognized expert, a strategic leader, and a testament to the power of keen intellect and unwavering resolve. Mr. Harrison Thorne, the chief of security, now saw Alara as his indispensable right hand. He began to delegate more and more responsibility to her, trusting her judgment implicitly. He often sought her counsel on complex security matters, valuing her unique perspective and her ability to anticipate threats. Their professional relationship had evolved into one of deep mutual respect, a partnership built on shared goals and a profound understanding of the demands of their work. Brenda Davies, once Alara's most vocal skeptic, had become her most ardent supporter. She openly praised Alara's leadership, often defending her decisions to other, less experienced guards. Brenda's meticulous nature, combined with Alara's strategic vision, created a formidable duo, capable of tackling any challenge. Mac O'Connell, ever the loyal and good-natured colleague, continued to be Alara's rock, providing unwavering support and a constant source of camaraderie. The entire security team, once a collection of individuals, had transformed into a cohesive, highly effective unit, inspired by Alara's leadership. "Alara," Mr. Thorne said one morning, his voice filled with a rare warmth, "the board of directors has been incredibly impressed with your performance. They've approved a significant bonus for the entire security team for the summit's success, and they've also created a new position, Deputy Chief of Security. It's yours, if you want it." Alara's heart swelled with pride and gratitude. Deputy Chief. It was a monumental step, a recognition of her journey and her impact. "Thank you, Harrison," she replied, her voice thick with emotion. "I accept, and I'm incredibly proud of this team." The promotion came with a substantial increase in salary, a fact that brought a wave of relief and joy to Alara. Her first thought, as always, was of Lily. "Lily, guess what?" Alara exclaimed during their next video call, unable to contain her excitement. "I got promoted, and with the bonus, your New York internship is fully funded. Rent, food, even a little extra for exploring the city. You don't have to worry about a thing." Lily's face lit up, her eyes wide with disbelief and then pure joy. "Aunt Alara, are you serious? Oh my God, you're the best. Thank you, thank you, thank you." Tears streamed down Lily's face, mirroring Alara's own. "I can't believe it. This changes everything." Alara felt a profound sense of fulfillment. Seeing Lily's dreams become a reality, knowing she had played a crucial role in it, was more rewarding than any promotion or accolade. Her hard work, her perseverance, her unwavering commitment had not only secured a building, but had also secured her sister's future. If you're celebrating Alara's well-deserved promotion and her incredible support for Lily, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us share more stories of dedication and family triumph. As deputy chief, Alara implemented new training programs, focusing on observational skills, de-escalation techniques, and fostering a proactive, rather than reactive, approach to security. She mentored younger guards, instilling in them the philosophy that true security was about understanding people, anticipating needs, and building trust, not just enforcing rules. She became a sought-after speaker at security conferences, sharing her insights on modern urban security challenges and the importance of diverse perspectives in the field. Her story, once confined to the whispers of Thorn Tower, began to spread. A prominent professional security magazine featured her on its cover, with the headline, "The Unseen Architect: How Alara Vance Redefined Security at Thorn Tower." The article detailed her journey, her initial struggles with judgment, and her ultimate triumph, highlighting her unique approach and her unwavering strength. Alara, once self-conscious about her appearance, now embraced her public role with grace and confidence. She used her platform to advocate for inclusivity in professional fields, challenging stereotypes, and proving that competence and leadership came in all shapes and sizes. She often spoke about the uniform, not as a constraint, but as a symbol of the inner strength she had always possessed. One particularly poignant moment came when Chief Eleanor Hayes, the head of the larger security corporation that managed Thorn Tower, paid a personal visit. Chief Hayes was a formidable woman, known for her sharp intellect and no-nonsense approach. She spent an entire day observing Alara, sitting in on meetings, and even joining her on a patrol. At the end of the day, Chief Hayes met with Alara and Mr. Thorne in his office. "Alara," Chief Hayes began, her voice firm but with a genuine warmth, "I've been watching your work and I'm deeply impressed. You've not only transformed the security operations here, but you've also inspired your entire team. Your approach to security is truly groundbreaking." She paused, a thoughtful look on her face. "I've been in this business for 30 years, and I've seen countless officers. Many are strong, many are intelligent, but few possess your unique blend of intuition, empathy, and strategic thinking. You see the unseen, Alara. You understand that true security isn't just about locking doors. It's about understanding the human element, about building a fortress of trust and respect." Chief Hayes then made an unexpected offer. "Our corporation is expanding, and we're looking for a new regional director of security, overseeing multiple high-profile properties across the Northeast. It's a challenging role, demanding exceptional leadership and vision. I want you for it, Alara." Alara was stunned. Regional director. It was a leap she hadn't even dared to dream of. It meant overseeing a vast network of security operations, shaping policies, and mentoring leaders across an entire region. It was a testament to how far she had come, from the nervous guard sweating through her uniform on her first day. She looked at Mr. Thorne, who beamed with pride. She thought of Lily, thriving in New York, pursuing her dreams. She thought of Brenda and Mac, of the team she had built, of the fortress of safety she had helped create. "Yes, Chief Hayes," Alara said, her voice filled with quiet determination. "I accept. I'm ready for the challenge." If Alara's incredible journey to becoming a regional director of security is inspiring you, please show your support by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. Your engagement helps us continue to share these powerful and human stories. Years passed. Alara Vance, now a respected figure in the national security landscape, continued to rise, her influence spreading far beyond Thorn Tower. She became a vocal advocate for diversity and inclusion in her field, ensuring that talent was recognized regardless of appearance or background. She established mentorship programs, empowering countless young professionals to pursue their dreams, just as she had. Thorn Tower remained a beacon of her legacy. Mr. Harrison Thorne, now nearing retirement, often spoke of Alara with immense pride, crediting her with revitalizing his department and teaching him the true meaning of leadership. Brenda Davies, now the chief of security at Thorn Tower, continued Alara's work, leading with the same blend of meticulousness and intuitive understanding. Mac O'Connell, still the heart of the ground team, often shared stories of Alara's early days, reminding new recruits that true strength came from within. Lily Vance, now a successful architect, often collaborated with Alara on projects, designing secure, yet aesthetically pleasing spaces. Their bond remained unbreakable, a testament to the sacrifices and love that had shaped their lives. Alara, now in her late 40s, still carried her generous curves with pride. The uniform, whether it was the sleek suit of a corporate executive or the practical attire of a field director, fit her perfectly, a symbol of her journey, her achievements, and her unwavering self-acceptance. She no longer worried about how she looked in it. She knew what she represented. One quiet evening, Alara stood on the observation deck of a new building she was overseeing, looking out at the sprawling city lights. The wind whipped around her, but she felt grounded, strong. She thought back to her first day at Thorn Tower, the sweat, the insecurity, the quiet apology she had offered Mr. Thorn. "I'm sorry, sir. I sweated through the uniform," she had said, expecting ridicule. But what followed wasn't mockery. It was silence, the kind that forces everyone to see what strength really looks like. That night, and every day since, she had proven that courage isn't measured by how you look in a uniform, but by how you stand your ground when the world expects you to break. She had stood her ground, not just for herself, but for Lily, for her team, and for every person who had ever been underestimated. She had built a fortress of safety, not just with cameras and protocols, but with integrity, empathy, and an unwavering heart. Alara Vance, the curvy security guard, had become the unseen architect of safety, a powerful leader whose legacy was seasoned with love, resilience, and the profound truth that true strength, like true beauty, is always found within. And that, she knew, was a legacy that would protect and inspire for generations to come. What an incredibly inspiring and powerful conclusion to Alara's journey. If her story of overcoming judgment, rising through the ranks, and becoming a beacon of strength and leadership has touched your heart, please show your support. Hit that like button, share this video with someone who needs a dose of inspiration, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more powerful and uplifting stories like this one. Your engagement helps us continue to create content that celebrates the human spirit. Thank you for watching.